Even when everything, even when I got no, I never thought that thing did. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little music. Now we're going to get started. So welcome. Thank you everyone for making it to our second developer webinar. My name is Mary Chris Bonzo. I am one of the developer advocates here at Clover, and I'm also the organizer of this developer webinar series. So this is going to be a monthly webinar for all of you around topics that you all care about. And speaking of topics that you all care about and we care about as well, we here at Clover understand how challenging it is right now for everyone. And our teams are very much focused on helping our shared merchants out in the best way possible. There is a COVID-19 Resource Center page for merchants on the Clover website, and I've included the link to that page in your chat box. And merchants are also becoming more aware of applications and special offers that will help them get through this rough time, thanks to our business consultants who are educating them on those matters. And if any of you have any suggestions or program ideas to provide more opportunities to the merchants, please let us know and send us an email on developer-covid-19@clover.com. And I'm sure that today's topic will spark some more creative ideas to help our merchants out. So without further ado, I am very excited to introduce Deepali Mittal, one of Clover's payments and e-commerce engineers. And she's also an expert in designing and developing web services for platforms. Deepali, please take it away.
Right. Thank you, Mary Chris. Hello, everyone. Welcome to join this webinar. As Mary Chris has mentioned, my name is Deepali. I work here at Clover for payments e-commerce team. And I'm very excited to share what we have built, like our team has built from last 1 year, a brand new e-commerce platform which will help you as a developer to build solutions for your merchants, like e-commerce solutions for your merchants. So let's take it further with no ado, and hope you will have exciting time for next few minutes. So I want to just a little bit give you an idea like what topics I will be covering today. I'll be covering a little bit introduction on what is e-commerce API. I know most of you are developers and already might be consuming e-commerce APIs or other APIs, but I want to give a little bit intro on that. Second, we'll talk about general principles for working with an API. And third one is quick and easy steps to build with Clover E-Commerce API. So here I want to take a little bit pause. Like I know you guys all might know as what are APIs, but if you are a new developer and do not know APIs, APIs are application program interface is a set of protocols or tools for building software application. API specifies how different systems should talk to each other. And what is e-commerce? E-commerce is an online transaction. So why e-commerce APIs are important? Let's see how we used to do it in traditional platform approach. So when e-commerce first appeared on market as a viable channel, the majority of the traffic to websites came from desktop, and sales were relatively simple. As a result, platform solutions that sprung up the time were all inclusive with front-end and back-end coupled. So if you see here, as an e-commerce platform, all the backend logic and the database, everything is compiled here, integrated in this system, and you have like front end, which is also tightly coupled. As you see that we are growing into the tech world, like there are a lot of devices where consumers want to access e-commerce. The new concept called headless platform approach. So headless commerce basically describes the decoupling of front end and of your e-commerce experience from the backend. So if you notice here, like how APIs play an important role by splitting your front end with your backend. So this is your backend system, which has all the complex logic, all the business logic, and talking to multiple systems. And APIs are another layer of your logic, which need to be consumed at the front end. So basically, it just keeps the use case logic or the business logic, which is important for the front end to show a customer end-to-end solution. So, so basically, you can spin e-commerce solutions to support multiple devices. You can see here that you are not right, you are not like tightly coupled with any backend logic. You can, as a developer, independently working, providing a customer solution for your merchant, and then you don't need to worry about changing backend logic, and you can spin this front end for multiple devices or multiple omni channels. So that's like very good way of meeting time to market, and that's why you will be hearing a lot that by e-commerce APIs are becoming popular. So we talked about API. Now let's talk who will really benefit with these APIs. So as all of your developers have joined today, if you are already building apps for your merchants, let's say who are using some hardware devices or different kind of applications you are already building for them, and now they want to get some online traffic for their e-commerce business, or so then you can definitely use e-commerce APIs to build an end-to-end solution for them. And secondly, you can help merchants who want to reduce PCI compliance scope. I want to talk a little bit here what exactly is PCI. As a developer, you can help your merchants understand like why it is important to reduce PCI compliance. PCI is a well-known regulation that aims to protect customers' credit card information from theft and disclosure. Any organization that stores, process, or transmit customers' credit card information has to be PCI compliance. So using e-commerce APIs, how you can reduce PCI compliance by using our iframe and using our tokenization service, which has been built as part of this whole e-commerce platform. I'll talk about a little bit iframe and tokenization when I have the demo in the end. For now, like you will have to understand like why it is important. And then secondly, all developers who can really build a peer solutions for merchants who don't want to buy hardware. Let's say you want to work with a merchant who want to quickly spin up a point of sale solutions, then definitely e-commerce APIs are the way to go for. Now let's see what are the key advantages to build with Clover E-Commerce APIs. So it will give you a full-fledged shopping cart API access. Like you can provide a full shopping cart experience to your merchants on their websites or their solutions they are trying to build by directly integrating with our payment system as well as order management system, inventory management system. Second, you can help reduce PCI scope, which we talked about a little bit, why it is important. And because we provide a small SDK.js, like which is your JS, which will take care of your user's credit card information, and merchant will have everything integrated with our iframe. Third is the recurring payment. That is also a very exciting feature we have added in e-commerce, where you can help your customers by saving their card on file. And here I want to say, like when they save their card on file, we are not storing their credit card information in a raw way, not in a raw pan, not their raw pan information. Rather, we are storing everything as a tokenized, so it helps them be secure for their usage. So merchants really can leverage this merchant can really leverage this card on file feature using e-commerce API without having worry about PCI. Then last is pay with wallet. So these e-commerce APIs also provide support for wallet services like Apple Pay and Google Pay, and that will be coming in 2020. We talked about like what are APIs and why should you use Clover E-Commerce APIs. Now, as a developer, let's say you have lots of e-commerce APIs available in market. I want to just share some knowledge like what you need to understand before you start consuming any APIs, and what are the main principles for you to adhere to before you quickly jump into using any APIs. Because today, if you see, there are lots of e-commerce APIs are provided, and there are a lot of e-commerce platforms you can leverage and build your e-commerce solutions. So it's based on my experience that I want to just share with you all. So first thing is like onboarding. You can find a good API solution which has like a lot of flexibility and easy to use APIs, but you need to understand that how quick your onboarding can be and how much time your merchants really want to take to onboard, or whether they want to really go for buying devices, or can they do it without without devices? So like, what is the onboarding process? Secondly, you should always evaluate, like if you find everything all under one roof, like you want to tokenize the card, that's like the trend everywhere, right? So you want to tokenize the card, and then you want to provide order management service, you want to save card on file, you want to do payment processing. So here I can talk a little bit like why you need to really know that, okay, it's all under roof, like tokenization. So basically, tokenization is the process of protecting your customer data, as we talked about. So it allows to store credit card information in different wallets like e-commerce solutions and peer software to allow the card to be recharged without exposing original card information. So this is very important for you to understand, like how you want to leverage these different features using tokenization and how you can get all under one roof. Second, business continuity. Definitely, if you are already working with some merchants who are already having different set of APIs, and now you want to build e-commerce solutions for them, whether they can use everything under a unified platform. And as a developer, if you can find everything at one place and build solutions for your merchants. And last one is like pricing flexibility. That's also important. And you as a developers can help your merchants evaluate that whether these APIs are based on per consumer, number of consumers, or how is the usage, or how you will be charged, how the merchants will be charged. So that's also is very important to consider for. So that's good. So far, we have covered what is an e-commerce API and why you need to know about e-commerce API, who should use e-commerce API, and which e-commerce API to choose for your solution based on the principles I shared with you. Let's take now, how can you use Clover E-Commerce API? And based on the principles we talked about, based on those principles, you can decide whether you want to go with Clover or any other API, but those are really important factors before you start consuming the APIs. So let's take a quick deep dive into the technical side of these APIs and platform. So I want to show there are few e-commerce endpoints which I have shared here. There is a whole set of e-commerce APIs, and we have a good documentation for that. You can go over after webinar. But here I wanted to just highlight some really important endpoints you would need to finish end-to-end cycle for your e-commerce solutions. Like you want to get the public key because you want to tokenize. You want to provide a way for your customer to tokenize their card, for your merchants to tokenize customers' card. Then we have create charge, where you can process the charge. Then we have capture and open charge. Then get charge. You can get a single charge. Basically, you can get a list of all the transactions, or you want specific transactions. Then, as we talked about, you can use our card on file endpoint, where you can save your customer's card for recurring payments or for subscriptions. You can remove a card, and if you want to provide a full-fledged checkout card kind of option for your e-commerce solution, then you can use create order. You can pay for that order, and you can get the list of order. And as well as we provide endpoints for refund any specific charge. So these are some common ones I have posted here, but there's a big list of endpoints you can go over and see in the documentation. So as a developer, let's see what exactly you need to start with. So you need a private key and a public key. The private key would be your bearer token, basically your auth token, which you have to get to access to our calls, like APIs, which are made over HTTPS. And how you can get that, you can go to this website, clover.com/developers, and start consuming, start making your account to our sandbox, and then start testing. And then after that, you can be issued a private key. And as I showed you in my previous slide, you can get a public key by using your private key. So here, yeah, I know I talked about like all the endpoints. I want to talk more here mainly on the core APIs, which as a developer you would really need to know to start consuming these APIs. So the first one is you need a public key, because all e-commerce APIs are only supported through tokenized card. So if you want to use charge endpoint, you have to provide a tokenized card, which you can token without. We cannot token You cannot make your card tokenized without using a public key. So you have to use this endpoint. And if you notice here in this header, you have to provide your private key, which will be issued to you once you have a developer account. Then you can create a token. So if you notice, you are providing a customer's credit card information here. It's a raw pan, and then this endpoint will return your tokenized card. So here, a little bit, I want to talk like why it is important for you to understand the tokenization, because tokenization is the latest fast emerging as a more cost-effective and secure solution to protecting customer card and reducing PCI compliance scope. So you must have heard about encryption. Both tokenization and encryption are used to reduce the scope of PCI compliance by reducing the amount of systems that have access to customers' credit card information. So, but tokenization becomes more popular. Why? Like, let's take an example. Tokenization examples you can think of like card on file. So encryption is a bit different than tokenization because encryption, one system encrypts and the other end you have to decrypt. In case of tokenization, you tokenize the customer's card and then you save in some secure tokenization system, which is a wallet. And then you use that tokenized card, which is basically a algorithmic generated token for further processing. Let's say you want to save your customer's card on file, then you can use that token to save card on file. You can think about examples where e-commerce websites which offers frequent and returning customers like one-click checkout, or you can think about NFC mobile wallets like Apple Pay and Android Pay. So that's why it's become really critical for you to understand that why why we need to have tokenization and e-commerce API works on that whole flow. And then you would need to know about the endpoint for paying a charge. As I talked about it here, you can see that you will be passing source basically, which is like how you want to pay. And that would be a tokenized card, which you will be getting as a response from this endpoint. And you can also use pay for an order, like in case you are building a checkout or cart kind of a solution for your merchants, you can create an order and then you can pay for that order using the tokenized card. So these are like main ones you would be interested to know when you start building e-commerce solutions. Okay, let's jump quickly onto a good demo, like how you can really leverage e-commerce APIs. So there are multiple ways you can integrate with Clover e-commerce APIs. The one way is like iframe integration. So I want to talk here like what is iframe. So in credit card processing way, iframe solutions refer to a setup where your website basically uses an iframe to cause customers to interact with your processor site while entering their credit card information. So what does that mean is like if you are on merchant's website and as a customer, I'm entering my credit card information, that is being processed directly at the payment processor. And merchant won't be storing any of the customer's information. So as such, you generally also need some form of tokenization as we talked. And then back to for the purpose of repeated payments and recurring payments, you can really use that information and you can reduce the PCI scope. So here, let's take why you need and when you will be needing to integrate with iframe. Let's say you are having your merchant has a retail bookstore and now it was like for online reading, and then he want to quickly spin up a solution where he can provide a solution for his customer to check out books. And he doesn't have, as a merchant, he doesn't have much expertise on this PCI, and then he really don't want to get into this whole PCI compliance audit, and he want to build it quickly. So as a developer, you can use our iframe, which is already built solution, which is like this JS, which you can add into your header. And this JS provides you all the like text boxes and elements where we would be getting directly customers information from merchant's browser to our server. So it helps really quickly build a solution, and you really do not need to have much expertise on how you can build iframe and how you can really help reduce PCI compliance. So in this case, I would suggest if you're creating some quick solution for your merchants, go for iframe integration. And let me show you a quick demo of how you can do that. So I've created a simple app on my system, and for this demo purpose, I've kind of recorded it, but you can see, and I will show you like how it makes call to backend and how you can leverage that. So this is a simple app, local. I've created my system, and then there's a Clover E-Comm app, and let's see. There are some dependencies I have added, and this is a React app, and I'm using a local server, Express server. And then if you notice here, this is our main file, index file. We are just adding this JS, which is provided by Clover. And here I'm using the public key, which we talked about, because you would need to pass this from the browser to tokenize the card. You need some kind of authentication. So this would be a public key you have to provide along with that. And let me start my server. I've just built this. So I've already built it. So we'll just start my server. So here, if you see this app, I've created a single app. I'm going to show you a couple of the demos, but right now we're going to click with Pay with iframe demo. And if you notice, it loaded these text boxes, which are part of the JS, which we provide from our e-commerce solution. So let's keep it open so that you can see the network calls. And you enter a card number. So just imagine this is your merchant's website and you want to quickly build some quick checkout solution to buy books. And then we click on pay. So here, if you see, first we are generating a token, which is where we are encrypting your user's credit card information, and then we are sending it to backend to get it tokenized. So this is the Clover token we have generated using our V1 token. And here, if you see, this is the endpoint we are hitting in the backend, and the request payload, if you notice, this is encrypted PAN. So we are providing extra layer of security, like we are not even passing raw PAN in this case. We are encrypting users' information on the browser and sending it that way to the request payload. And let's see the response. We got the Clover token back, and we are sending some important information in the response, which you can show on the browser, like last four and the brand after the checkout is done. And now we call create charge. And if you notice here in the create charge request payload, we are passing this Clover token. So though where we are sending raw information of credit card. Then you get the response. This is the payment ID, which backend has created and returned in the response. If you see capture true, which is the sale has successfully gone through, and then it's authorized, it's paid, and then we return the same token back in the response in case you need it for further purpose. And that was the payment ID we got from backend. So this is the iframe demo, and this app we're going to share with you. This is on my Git profile, so you can try it out yourself if you want to build something similar. So let's go back to just a minute. So this was about iframe, and you see how secure it was. Like you're not sharing the user's credit card information anywhere on the network, and it's minimum access to any of the system. So now I want to talk about like second use case where you would need to really use API integration and using our SDKs, and this e-commerce solution provide you a multiple language SDKs. Like as a developer, if you do not have expertise in Java, you don't need to worry about that. And if you want to use Python or Node or Ruby, different languages, you can use our software development kits, and then you can start building with e-commerce APIs without worrying about a specific language. So here I want to talk like which use case you would like. Let's say you are working for a retail bookstore, which wants to like basically control the look and feel because they are kind of expanding in different countries and multi locations, and they want to really have a different look and feel for different website. That's one. You can use in this case you cannot go with iframe because you want to control look and feel, and iframe provides the already prepared elements to you. You can do few things, but not exactly everything you want to do. And then let's say your merchants want to handle large volume of transactions, and he wants the system to be highly available and want to control the tokenization part using directly making call to our server. The third is like if you want to provide card on file feature, then also you can do that by integrating with our SDK. So in this case, I would suggest that you can go over to the details of our documentation where we have provided multiple integrations, and then you can decide which one is good for your merchants to use. So here we'll go for a quick demo. Like I have created a simple app, same app, and I'm integrated with Node SDK for this one. And this is already published, so you can also download it for starting to use. So this is the same app, so I use the same app, and I just created 2 different paths for iframe as Node SDK. So if you notice here, I've added a dependency which is Clover E-Comm SDK, which is already published to NPM repo and the NPM registry, and then I have not downloaded it yet. We'll do as part of this demo. So this is a router file I've created where I've just split the path for different APIs. So if you are using anything similar, you can add your multiple routers to this file. And let's see. First, we need to install, because I've not installed any known modules here. So let's go and do that. So if you notice here, you will see known modules installed, and it is directly pulling from the NPM registry, and we will see Clover E-Comm SDK, because that's the one we are going to use for token and charge and all the calls we're gonna integrate for this app. Okay. This is still installing. Okay, it's all done. Let's start the server. Because I'm proxying to local server, so I've just built this script. And it's going to start the application. All right, so we come to the same application which we saw in the home page, and now this time, let me just open the network, and then we will go with this pay with Node SDK flow. Let's click on it. And if you notice here, I have like pre-filled this text boxes and this look and feel I have created for my app. So you can control a lot of things by using this Node SDKs or any other SDKs, or directly integrating with APIs. So we call pay. So let me just quickly go back. I think fast forward. So we have this pre-populated information, then we click pay, then you. So in this we call create token, and if you see, we are sending server to server call, and we are sending customer's credit card raw information here, and we get a token back. Then we call charge. Here we are passing the Clover token, because in e-commerce, I just want to add a little bit here that for any APIs you're going to use for end-to-end solution, you will have to provide always a tokenized card. So that's the way all the e-commerce APIs would work. And you will see here that it create charge, we are passing source as a token, and I'll show the other use case also where you can see the difference. And then successfully done. It was a sale, so capture true, and then you get that authorized from backend. And this is the number we got from backend. Let's go for the second scenario, which I've been talking, like e-commerce solution provides you a way to save card on file. So this time I'm going to click on this checkbox, and let's go pay for this. So if you see here, the flow, if you notice, like first we are tokenizing the card, which is returning a Clover token. Then we are saving this token on file. Basically, we are saving in our system and creating a customer ID. And then we are using that to pay for. So here you notice there are 3 calls happening this time. First, we are creating a token. Then we are getting a Clover token back. Then we are calling a create customer, which is basically saving your card on file. And then we are getting this customer ID back. And then if you will see in the create chart this time, we're going to pass this customer ID, which we got back as a source. So that's the way, like, so our system is already integrated the way, like if you pass a customer UUID, then we will fetch from the system, like what all cards are stored for this user, and then we will use that card for charge. And then we get the sale back, which is successful. So if you notice, the create charge has capabilities of taking a tokenized card as well as a customer ID, which already has the card saved on this file. So let's go see. This is the payment ID. We got it back. And then you can, I just had this link also in the app, so you can download the SDK from NPM directly. And if you use this app, basically you will have all the links and everything also in the app, in the GitHub repo. You can go to the different documentation and you can contact our team in case you have any questions. So let's see. All right, so we'll go back. All right, so that's all from my end, and these are some important links we're gonna share with you all. Also, I've showed here. As a developer, I mean, you can start exploring, and we are very excited to hear from you. Like if you have some specific use case you want to build using e-commerce and you don't find it, we will be really excited to hear from you, and we'll try to add those APIs for your particular solutions. And there is multiple documentation has been provided. So, and there's a community page where you can go and post your questions and queries, and Manicris is going to share these links to you with this GitHub link as well as other documentation. So I think we are very excited to hear from all of you, and that's all from my end. Thank you all for joining. I'll give it back to Manicris.
All right, thank you so much, Deepali. I am very excited to play around with the sample app. And for those of you who haven't noticed yet, I have shared the PDF slide deck in the under the handouts tab. So now we are going to do Q&A session. There were a lot of questions. We are going to try to answer at least 5 of them. So Deepali, I'm going to read the questions to you whenever you're ready. Are you ready?
Yep, I am.
Okay, so first question is from AJ Gautam. So he says, we already use Clover at our location with payment company is First Data. So the question is, if I use Clover E-Commerce API for, let's say, selling gift cards on our website, will payments be routed through our Clover account and First Data payment gateway?
Yes, it will be. So if you use Clover E-Commerce API, that's what we are using as a payment processing system in the backend, and that will be routed through First Data.
Awesome, thank you. Next question is from Rajesh Tiwari. Are refunds processed on the same day or after close? Can we process refunds after card transaction on the same day?
Yes, you can process the refund on the same day. That will be called as a void. And for the first part, which you said, yes, it will be settled after you do the closeout.
All right, cool. Next question is from Chris Browse. Because this is an omni-channel solution, is it possible to reference a token created from a terminal transaction and using that token through the API?
Okay, so I have not tried that myself, and I think I do not have expertise on that, but I believe some of our internal consumers are doing that. So I can definitely get back on that because I have not tried myself, so I'm not sure, but I think mostly it should be, but let's see, I can get back to you on that later. But
Okay.
that's a good question, and that's a very good use case we should have tried out.
Okay, cool. So Chris Browse will let you know. All right, next question from Hani Jabor. If I have a growing number of merchants using my mobile application, is there a way to use the same token across multiple merchants? Because I'm not storing the CC number and I can't create new tokens for new merchants.
That's a good question. So if I understand your question correctly, that you are saying the token is like here, the Clover token, that is specific to each customer. So Clover token is specific to customer credit card. So it's not specific to merchant. So if you have multiple merchants, like you have a growing business, I believe that you would like to have a specific tokenized card for a specific token for each customer's credit card. So maybe you can share a little bit more and we can talk what exactly is the use case.
All right, yes. Okay, Honey, we will follow up with you after the webinar to clarify your use case and get your answer to you. Okay, so last question we're gonna take on for today. And for the rest of the questions we didn't get to, we will get them answered right after this webinar and send you the answers in a community post. So last question is from John Jenner. We have existing Clover systems at physical stores. We also have an existing e-commerce platform. We want to buy an online pickup in store solution. So we are more interested in orders and inventory management than payments. Will e-commerce API help with that?
So yes, that's a good one. So today e-commerce APIs provide you to do order management where you can use our APIs for creating orders. And if you want to pay for an order, and that also supports, like internally we call the inventory management system. So that's where you can use that.
Okay, thank you so much, Deepali. This is the last question we're going to answer. Again, we will share the rest of the answers and questions in a community post and let you all know. So we are going to conclude the webinar. For everybody who's still here, if you want to help pick the next topic for the developer webinar series, then I highly encourage you to fill out the survey, which will pop out as soon as you exit this call. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you Deepali Mittal for presenting. And we hope that everybody stays safe during this pandemic, and we will see all of you next month. Goodbye.
Bye, thanks everyone for joining today. Thanks, Mary Chris. Have a good one.